Today we've got a serious showdown between two heavyweights in the foldable game, the Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold and Samsung Z Fold 6. These two devices are battling it out for foldable supremacy, and honestly it's a lot closer than I expected. The Pixel Fold is only in its second generation, and here we are comparing it against Samsung's 6th iteration of foldables. That is wild. Google has come out swinging and they've done an impressive job in such a short amount of time. But is it enough to topple the king? Let's dive into it. This is a battle of innovation, AI, and sheer practicality.
I've been feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall.
By the way, my name is RJ, and if you find value in this video, don't forget to subscribe. And stick around till the end of this video where I'll break down my personal pick between these two foldables. First up, let's talk design, because that's a huge part of what makes a foldable phone. Right off the bat, the Pixel 9 Pro has a design that I really love. The 6.3-inch cover screen is super easy to hold and navigate, and it feels like a regular slab phone most of the time. That's what's key here. You can just one-hand it, toss it into your pocket, and go about your day. Then when you need more screen real estate, you unfold it to reveal its 8-inch inner display. Perfect for content consumption or multitasking needs. Now, the Z Fold 6, it's different. The cover display is a lot narrower, which makes it a bit trickier to navigate or hold, especially one-handed. Reaching the top of the screen is almost impossible unless you've got Shaq-sized hands. Typing on it can also feel like a bit of a chore, but it's also lighter in comparison, which you'll appreciate if you're holding it for long periods. Now, in terms of usability, I know some people are slandering the side bezels on the Pixel, but let me tell you, they're there for a reason. They make the phone feel a lot more comfortable to hold, and they increase the size of the inner display without compromising usability. That's something I've come to appreciate on the Pixel Fold, even if it doesn't look as sleek as the Z Fold 6. The Z Fold 6, I would say, at least in terms of usage, I use the inner display a lot more than the cover screen, just because it's a lot more practical. But ideally, I'd only want to use the inner display when I'm sitting down about to get comfortable and throw on a good show, which is exactly what the Pixel 9 Pro Fold offers. Also, the typing experience on the Pixel Fold's cover display is leagues better. On the Z Fold 6, typing on that narrow display feels cramped and uncomfortable. I found myself making more typos. And let's face it, when you're spending upwards of $1,800 on a phone, you want the experience to be as smooth as possible. With the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, typing feels more natural, and that makes a big difference when you're constantly texting, emailing, or just navigating your phone. What I'm trying to say is, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold's wider, more natural aspect ratio for the cover screen makes it feel like a better all-around device for day-to-day use. So when it comes to usability, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold wins for me hands down. But let's not forget about build quality. Samsung's got that on lock. The Z Fold 6 feels undeniably more premium. It feels solid in the hands, the hinge feels sturdy, and overall, you just know that you're holding something that's built to last. Google's Pixel 9 Pro Fold is thin, crazy thin. It's actually the thinnest foldable you can buy here in North America, measuring at just 0.2 inches thick when unfolded and 0.4 inches thick when folded. Compare that to the Z Fold 6, which is 0.3 inches unfolded and 0.47 inches folded. There is a noticeable difference in how both of these phones feel in your hand. Now, we gotta talk about the displays, because this is where these two foldables shine in different ways. The Pixel 9 Pro Fold has a larger inner screen at 8 inches, compared to the Z Fold 6's 7.6 inches. That might not sound like a huge difference, but trust me, it makes a big impact when you're watching content or using split view to multitask. The Pixel's extra screen real estate is perfect for multitasking and immersive content consumption. On the other hand, the Z Fold 6 has a cover display that's no slouch. It clocks in at 2600 nits of peak brightness, compared to the Pixel Fold's 2700 nits. Both phones have vibrant, sharp screens that will blow you away whether you're inside or out in the sun. The Z Fold 6 does have some advantages in terms of functionality. With Samsung's One UI, you can have two different screen layouts, one for the cover screen and one for the inner screen. That's some next level customization right there. And I know a lot of people who love being able to customize both displays. Speaking of One UI, let's dive into multitasking. Samsung's Z Fold 6 is just better at it, plain and simple. You can open 3 windows in split screen mode and even add a floating window for extra multitasking power. Meanwhile, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold struggles a bit in this department. Sure, you can open up 2 apps at once, but that's it. No third window and no floating window. Pixel's multitasking software definitely needs work. And while I personally don't often use 3 windows at once, I do want that option for a floating window. That would be really nice. Google's Pixel UI is a bit more streamlined. It's cleaner, less bloated, and it just feels more intuitive to me. So if you're someone who prioritizes ease of use over raw functionality, the Pixel might be a better choice. Plus, Google has packed this thing with AI-powered features. You've got call screening, better voice to text, and 1 year of free Gemini Advanced, which is amazing for things like responding to emails and even creating calendar entries from things like concert posters. That's some next level useful AI integration. Samsung's Z Fold 6 does have its own AI tricks up its sleeve. The sketch to image feature is pretty cool, but it works best if you got the S Pen, which by the way comes at an extra cost. Still, Samsung's multitasking chops put the Z Fold 6 ahead in terms of productivity. Both phones have a lot of great features packed in, but there's some extra touches that pushes the Pixel 9 Pro Fold slightly ahead for me. One standout feature is Google's Made You Look tool for taking pictures. It's this little AI enhancement that ensures people are looking and paying attention to your shot, making for a better group photo. Combine that with features like Add Me, and it's clear that Google has put a lot of thought into practical ways we use our phones. One thing that often gets overlooked in these comparisons is haptics. I have to give it up to the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. The haptics on this thing are fantastic. Every tap, every press feels satisfying. It is subtle, but once you've used it for a while, you will notice how much more refined it is compared to the Z Fold 6. Samsung's haptics aren't bad by any means, but they don't have that same level of precision that the Google Foldable offers. As for these speakers, I gotta give the nod to Samsung here. The Z Fold 6 does have these slightly better sounding speakers, with more depth and clarity. It's not a huge difference, but if you're someone who listens to a lot of media without headphones, it is worth noting down. That being said, both phones have dual speakers and are more than capable of delivering solid sound quality for watching videos, playing games, and listening to music. Now let's talk performance. The Z Fold 6 has the edge here. It's powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset, which is more powerful than Google's Tensor G4. That's just a fact. If you are into raw speed and computing power, Samsung's got the win here. That said, I was pleasantly surprised by the Tensor G4. It's smooth. I haven't noticed any thermal issues, and the phone runs buttery smooth even when multitasking or playing games. For day-to-day tasks, I think most people will be happy with either phone's performance. The Pixel does also pack more RAM and a bigger battery, which does mean longer lasting power. Both phones feature an IPX8 rating, meaning that they can survive being submerged under 1.5 meters of water for up to 30 minutes. But Samsung's Z Fold 6 adds an extra layer of protection with its IP48 rating, which means it's better at keeping out dust or other solid objects. That's something to consider if you're often in environments where dirt or sand might be an issue. Now, the hinge. This is where the Pixel 9 Pro Fold has me a little concerned. I'm not saying it's a bad hinge, but it doesn't feel as sturdy as the one on the Z Fold 6. It's not as resistant when you're opening and closing it, and it's something I'll be keeping an eye on for sure over time. Samsung's hinge, on the other hand, does feel rock solid. If durability is a top priority for you, then the Z Fold 6 might be the safer bet. When it comes to battery life, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold once again pulls slightly ahead. It's got a bigger battery, and the Tensor G4 chipset seems to be putting in some work in terms of efficiency, which means longer lasting performance. Both phones are pretty similar when it comes to actual screen on time though, but I have noticed that the Pixel gives me just a little bit more juice throughout the day. If you're a heavy user like me, that bit of extra battery can be the difference between reaching for your charger at 6 p.m. or making it through the end of the day. In terms of actual screen on time, you can expect around 6.5 hours on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold and nearly 6 hours on the Z Fold 6. Charging speeds are a close call. The Z Fold 6 has 25 watts wired charging compared to the Pixel's 21 watts, so it's a bit faster but not by much. Both phones also feature wireless charging, but the Z Fold 6 offers reverse wireless charging. So if you're in the Samsung ecosystem with the Galaxy Buds or a Galaxy Watch, that's a feature you might find to be handy. But for most people, I think the Pixel's battery performance is more than enough to get you through a full days of usage without any issues. Now let's get into the cameras, because this is where things get interesting. Google has always been at the forefront of smartphone photography, and that hasn't changed here in this comparison. In this comparison, you're looking at the Pixel 9 Pro Fold's 48 megapixel main lens versus the Z Fold 6's 50 megapixel main lens. Whether I'm taking pictures in daylight or night, the Pixel consistently delivers better, more natural shots. Although it is important to note that these are not the best cameras that each of these companies offer, which I feel like is a huge miss, especially considering the price of these foldables. The 5x telephoto zoom is just a game changer, especially when you compare it to the 3x zoom on the Z Fold 6. That extra reach really comes in handy when you want to get close without sacrificing quality. And for those of you wondering, the inner camera is sharper too, 10 megapixels compared to just 4 on the Samsung Z Fold 6. So overall, when it comes to photo quality, the Pixel is just more consistent. You get that classic Pixel look, better colors, more zoom, and more natural photo processing thanks to Google's superior AI and hardware combo. That's not to say the Z Fold 6 is bad, especially with its image stabilization, which I think is a bit better than what the Pixel offers. Both phones can shoot in 4K, but I personally prefer the colors and the overall vibe I'm getting from the Z Fold 6's footage. Alright, let's talk about price, because that's always a big factor. The Pixel 9 Pro Fold starts at $1799 for 256 gigabytes of storage, while the Z Fold 6 starts at $1899 for the same storage. That $100 difference might not seem like much, but considering you're getting a better camera, a bigger display, and more AI features on the Pixel, it's a pretty compelling deal. Both phones offer 7 years of software updates, which is awesome. You are getting long-term support with either option. But in the end, I think it comes down to what you value the most. Do you want better multitasking, a more premium feel, and S Pen support? Then go for the Z Fold 6. But if you're looking for a foldable that's easier to use, has better cameras, and packs smarter AI features, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold might be the one for you. For me, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold edges out the Z Fold 6, but just barely. Here's why. In day-to-day usage, the form factor of the Pixel is just better. There is no denying that. I spend a majority of my time on the cover display, and the wider, more natural aspect ratio makes it feel like a proper smartphone. It's comfortable to hold, easier to type on, and it doesn't feel like it's being compromised in any way. Sure, the Z Fold 6 has its perks, especially with multitasking and that S Pen support. But when I'm going about my daily routine, I need a phone that feels seamless whether unfolded or folded. So after spending a considerable amount of time with both of these devices, here's my take. The Pixel 9 Pro Fold is the better foldable for most people. It's a bit more affordable, easier to use, and has a superior camera system. The form factor is more practical for day-to-day usage, and Google's AI features really elevate the overall experience. I love what they've done with the Made You Look feature, Video Boost, and their AI-driven photo processing. These are things that genuinely improve how you use your phone, and that's what makes the Pixel 9 Pro Fold stand out. That said, if you're someone who values multitasking and raw performance, the Z Fold 6 is still an incredible device. Samsung's One UI is more feature-rich, and you get more flexibility with split screen and the option to use the S Pen. The hinge is sturdier and the speakers sound better. So if those are things that are important to you, then the Z Fold 6 is definitely worth considering. But for me, I'm going to go with the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. The cameras, the software, and the form factor, it just ticks off a lot of boxes for what I need in a foldable phone. So there you guys have it, that's my pick, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Which foldable are you going to go with? The Samsung Z Fold 6 or the Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold? If you guys made it to the end of this video, drop a dolphin emoji down in the comments below. I would love to know who my true supporters are. And don't forget to subscribe for more tech reviews, comparisons, and everything in between. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys all in the next one, and don't forget to flex with your foldable tech.